So I think the Germans are beginning to come to terms with the reality that that's not something they want to be part of. Their government is slow to catch on to that sort of thing, but I think the population in Germany gets it. And if you look at the most really recent polling data from Poland, it's quite clear that the Polish population has turned against this war in Ukraine, at least insofar as it involves Polish participation. And I think in Washington there is this sort of schizophrenic personality. We should get out, leave NATO. This is a disaster. We don't want to be part of it. Versus, oh no, no, we're still part of NATO. And if they do go in, we can't just abandon them. I am of the view that if the British and the French are foolish enough to undertake any sort of intervention in Western Ukraine, that we should absolutely abandon them. And we should make it very clear that we will not support it. Reason I say that is that if you take us out of the equation, Glenn, there is no command, control, communications, computers, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance backbone that effectively allows you to command forces across the European theater. All of that resides with us, with the United States. And when I was assigned to Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe, I worked on a plan before I left that would enable the Europeans to put together what I just described, a command and control capability, a headquarters with all the supporting satellite arrays and everything else. And it was made very clear to me before I left at the time by Germans and British and French and others. Listen, we think you're right. This is the right thing to do, but none of our politicians will invest a dime to do it. And I said, well, if that's the case, at some point, the Americans will leave, and then you'll have nothing. And I think that's what the Europeans know. If we pull out, there's nothing there. It has to be built up from scratch.
The former head of the Bundeswehr in Germany, Harald Kujat, he was also the head of the NATO military committee. He warned actually all at the beginning of the Russian invasion that this was provoked and the peace in Istanbul was sabotaged. And he warned that this is what could happen to Germany if they walked along into this war with Biden, that at some point it would end in a massive disaster. And then the United States and others would have the opportunity to walk away while Germany would be left standing there, confronted with Russia in a war which the German had not just, in his words, they had sabotaged and broken international law by violating Minsk, helped to provoke the war.